Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, a.k.a. PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative Podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports, everything really. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On Twitter goes PD Beats. We're talking a couple of things today. We're going to be talking hockey. We're going to be talking golf. I'm quickly going to introduce my two guests. We are with the Vice President of ClubEG and a PGA professional, Andy Rajhathy, and we're with the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers in the National Hockey League, Claude Giroux. Gentlemen, welcome to Popternative.
Thanks for having us, Peter.
No problem. So, Andy, let's get right into it. It's golf season. I just wanted to know a little bit more about ClubEG. What we can kind of look forward to this summer with some of the events and the golf tournaments that you guys are putting on. And how did you get into golf specifically, Andy?
Well, I was honestly, I think we're going to talk about the relationship a bit between hockey and golf, and that's really what got me started. Some buddies on my hockey team were playing. So I was a junior member. I kind of grew up at Carlton Golf and Yacht Club. And then in my early 20s, got started with ClubEG. It's a lot of fun. Really looking forward to this year. A lot of positive signs. The weather's been good. Golfers seem excited to play, and we have some new events that we're doing. So I'm excited about the upcoming season for sure.
No, absolutely. And we'll get, like I said, we'll get into golf and hockey. But Claude, I just wanted to talk to you briefly. Big year for you with the Philadelphia Flyers, 102 points in the National Hockey League. What were some of the takeaways that you could take from this season moving forward?
Well, I think the year before, I think our team and also individually didn't go very well. And I think we during the summer, we kind of got our stuff together. And, it was a good year for us. We satisfied? Yeah, not really. We would love to play a little longer. But to be able to make the playoffs, and we're a really young team. So being able to kind of build off that. And the second half of the season, we really played the way that we want to be as a team. So it's obviously looking good for next year, and we're all pretty excited for next season.
No, absolutely. It's really interesting if you think of the relationship between golf and hockey. There's such a tight knit between the two of them. I just wanted to know, it's a question for both of you. Why do you think there's such a big relationship between the two sports? Why are so many hockey players golfing? When did that all start out, Andy?
The big thing I think is the seasons work together. Obviously, you usually finish up hockey and the golf courses are opening, and same in the fall, golf courses are starting to shut down, and so begins the hockey season. But there's a lot of athletic components too. I mean, golf swing wise, it's just same with baseball. That natural swing that some of these athletes have, it really carries over well into the sport. So it gets guys off to a bit of a better start, I'd say, than if you're just coming into golf, without some of that sort of swing mentality that you have in other sports.
And Claude, you it's no surprise you golf a lot in the off season. What do you like specifically about golf? And I'm sure a lot of teammates, a lot of players in the National Hockey League are with you too. Where a big part of your summer and off season besides training is playing golf.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of takes your mind off of it, and like Andy said, when hockey is over, that's when golf season starts, and obviously you want to play golf a little later when you want to be far in the playoffs. But I just like to kind of compete, and when you're at the golf course with your buddies, it's you play little games, and it's just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Now, Andy, I know that ClubEG has done a lot of tournaments, a lot of charity events, Rinks and Links, which was a few weeks ago as well. You get to kind of meet a lot of amazing people and golf with a lot of athletes, celebrities. I just wanted to know who are some notable players that you played with that you're very impressed with, whether it's a hockey player, whether it's someone who's not a professional golfer. Was there anyone that kind of stands out the last couple of years?
It's a good question. Two things stand out. Last year we were out at Eagle Creek and we played with it was 2 years ago. Either way, we were out at Eagle Creek, and there was 8 guys from the Team Canada hockey team, and it's like I said, just athletic guys, and they all just hammered the ball. But the surprising thing was their short games were good too. I think there's such a strong mental approach to the game So when you get, players at professional level of any sports, they kind of excel in golf because they have the mental capacity to kind of conquer those little challenges that you'd have in golf. On the flip side, it doesn't matter to me who I play with skill wise. I like playing with everybody. There's a gentleman I played with. He's got one leg, and he just loves the game so much, and he's a really effective ball striker despite only having one leg. His name's Vinko Serla, great guy. He plays on our Slammer tour. So things like that really impress me, just when people have a passion for the game and they're out there every day practicing, trying to get better and having fun along the way.
And how's Claude's golf game?
It's pretty good. He hasn't beaten me yet this year, but
I think today's the day.
Today might be the day.
Wow. Historic day. Who are some NHLers or players on the Flyers, Claude, like some of your teammates that are pretty good at golf?
Pretty good. I'm not sure that'd be a good word, but Matt Reed is a very good golfer. I think he's scratch, and he's really fun to play with. And there's other guys that are handicaps are like 12, 14, and there's some really bad golfers too. And Jake Voracek thinks he's a good golfer, but he's pretty bad.
Shout out to Andrew McDonald and Scott Lawton. We played Glen Abbey last year, and the swing speeds on these guys, it's off the charts. They had a TrackMan set up on a hole, and it was extremely fun to watch. There was fans out there, so it was pretty neat to see their actual stats on a big screen. It's impressive.
So what are some of the things for you specifically, Andy, that you think are hard about golf? Like, you mentioned the swing. What are some elements of the game that you look at where you're like, wow, that person is very good in that capacity? That's very impressive. Like you said, the athletics, being athletic is important, but what are some of the things about golf that you find challenging?
There's a quote that golf's 90% mental and the other 10% is mental. When I have students and I'm coaching anybody or they're asking advice, I really like to zone in on that mental space. I feel that if you believe that, you can hit a shot, you will be able to do it. You can kind of train your body through your brain to be able to hit shots. And that's why strong athletes can come into the game and do so well. But flexibility is a big part. When you're talking about hockey, there's some bad habits that might creep in from some players, and that's not a bad thing. Like they're used to taking slap shots, and in a golf swing, that would be a little bit steep, right, as we call it. So that can lead to some hooks or some slices depending on, other factors like your grip. But if you can really get your body moving in the right direction and a bit more flexible, then you have a big shot at becoming better at golf. And when I say better at golf, I have to be careful because, it's a game where you can shoot in the 100s, still have a great time, and your goal is to shoot in the 90s. Yep. If you shoot in the 80s, your goal is to shoot in the 70s, right? So that's what's special about this game, and it's special about, people coming in and having fun and getting better, is that there's so much opportunity for it. So yeah, it's just, again, really getting in the right headspace that, if you want to get better, you put the time, you put the effort in, and you have fun along the way, because there's no point in playing the game if you're not out there to have fun.
Mm-hmm. And similar question, but more for more in the realm of hockey. Claude, the game is definitely changing. Like the hockey specifically. There's some amazing young players coming in the league. What have been some of the specific things that you've seen the most that have changed in the National Hockey League for the last couple of years you've been playing?
Yeah, I think from when I came in the league, I think the game's changed a little bit. It's faster. You can't grab and hold anymore, and maybe it's not as physical as it used to. Obviously, it's still physical, but it's not as physical. And it's kind of a young player league now, and if you want to stay in the league for a long time, you really have to put the work into it. So it's a different league, but it's a really fun league.
Now, there's a rumor going around that, Claude, you are a fan of ping pong. You're a very good ping pong player.
Yes.
He's all right.
All right. Well, I don't know. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting because that's something like golf that I think is very associated with hockey players as well. What do you like the most about ping pong? And is that do you guys play it a lot, like before games or work? Like, is that something that the Flyers do a lot, play ping pong?
Well, we have a table at the practice rink, and after practice, we'll have some matches. It gets really serious, but there's some Euros that are really good ping pong players, and it's pretty impressive to see how good they.
Absolutely.
I still haven't had a game against you, Claude, but don't you play like wrong hand against some guys and still beat them?
Yeah, if they're bad like you, yeah.
Man, shots fired. Couple more questions. On a serious note, the hockey community, and you can relate this to golf, is a very tight community. We've seen a lot of, tragedies happen, and the hockey community has come together for them, and there's been a lot of fundraisers, a lot of charity events, a lot of golf tournaments as well. Andy, we'll start with you, but is that something that you've always seen, because you've been around hockey players, you're a golfer, but you've been around hockey players most of your life. Is that something you've always seen even at the junior level, or did you only see that when the pro level? There's such a tight community, everyone's there for each other, specifically in hockey.
No, I think it's always been there, and it's all relative. It doesn't matter your level of, any sport. When things happen, I think everybody has each other's backs. You're there for support. Lots of great golf tournaments in support of, X, Y, and Z, especially in Ottawa. Everyone's great, and golf courses are always on board to help out. Rink like the hockey rinks, they're always there. So you're right. It is a special community in both hockey and golf where, again, people support each other, and no matter what, we all kind of get through, whatever's happening together. And just, at the end of the day, those are sports, but life is obviously happens. So it's really important that people have that mentality.
And Claude, you see that support a lot in the National Hockey League, but did you see that as well when you were playing in junior as well, like with the Gatineau Olympic? Did you see that tight-knit community early on as well in your career?
Yeah, I did, but I think in the pro level, I think guys kind of do their own charities, their own foundation, and I'm lucky enough in Philly that I always have events in Philly, whatever it is, and the Flyers have a golf tournament early in the season, and everybody shows up. It's just that kind of hockey community. When there's a fundraiser, everybody jumps on it, and we just have a good time with it.
Absolutely. So, Andy, you're the vice president of ClubEG. What are some of the things that we could be looking forward to in the Ottawa area for golf this summer?
We got the new Ottawa Citizen Golf Championship coming up, June 22nd to 24th. You mentioned Rinks and Links. I just have to mention that because it's just such a blast. Claude played in it, which we really appreciate this year, where you play hockey in the morning and golf in the afternoon. Our marquee events, the Ottawa Sun Scramble. Again, thanks to Claude and our owner and president, Jamie Ryan. They're a great team in the GolfWorks A division, but we have divisions for every type of golfer, whether you're a female, male, shooting the hundreds. We have a senior division. So the Ottawa Sun Scramble is a 1-week city championship at the end of August. As well, we do a lot of great trips for the off season and run tons of leagues, senior league, ladies league, slammer to our competitive league. So there's lots going on. We encourage golfers to just get out there and play. Find a routine so you can, stick to the game and have some fun out there.
Absolutely. The networking component of golf is huge too. I can't express that enough. Like, you go on the courses and you meet everyone. Like the networking aspect is huge as well, right, Andy?
Networking's big. A lot of business to business, which is good. Again, just supporting each other. So, whether it's at a golf course or some of our events, a lot of good people coming in that you want to support, and good relationship builders for sure. When you're on a golf course with people for 4 hours, you really find out a lot about them, and generally become good friends or maybe mortal enemies. But at the end of the day, you're right. It's a good network and a lot of good people.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And last question for Claude. What are you kind of looking forward to the most for next season? What have you been? You're golfing a lot, you're trading in the off season, but there's, the Philadelphia Flyers have a lot of nice pieces coming up. There's a lot, you see a lot of grit, a lot of fantastic players. Sean Couturier had a breakout season as well. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to for the next season?
Yeah, just kind of build off of what we did last year at the second half, and kind of have the same identity, and we just had fun and went out there to play hockey. So if we have that same mentality, I think we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna be back in the playoffs and hopefully make do some damage.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy your golf game, and Claude, I hope you beat Andy.
Thank you.
No chance. Thanks, Peter.
No problem, guys. All the best. Well, this has been Popternative with Andy Rajhathy and Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers. Previous episodes, Popternative. For the video episodes, youtube.com/Popternative, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there, so be sure to subscribe and leave us a like or comment on YouTube. We hope you enjoy this episode. Until next time, this is PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.